Get ready, start, Mr. Deputy Chairman. The generous support which the honorable members of this house have been good enough to accord to this measure is a source of courage and strength to me, but it is equally a source of embarrassment because I do not consider this bill to be the end of the process. It is the beginning of the process, and the success of this bill will not be judged by the provisions contained in it, but by their implementation. I feel that today I am being put on trial, and if I am deserving any appreciation or praise, it will be on the day when I make a success of this bill. Now, from the debate that has been held in this house, I have a feeling that there is not a very correct appreciation of the scope of this bill. I made an attempt to explain the scope of the bill in my opening speech, but it must be due to my fault that I could not fully bring home to the honorable members the scope of this bill. This bill presents only a part of an integrated picture which was drawn up by the Rural Credit Survey Committee. The financing or the credit part of it has been entrusted to the Reserve Bank. Some honorable members have mentioned that there is no provision for the creation of the land mortgage banks. I submit that there should have been no provision for the creation of the land mortgage banks because that is the credit side which has been handled by the Reserve Bank. It does not need any legislation. There are already laws for the incorporation of the cooperative societies in the states, and any land mortgage bank can either be incorporated under that law or under a specialized law. Some honorable members have mentioned that there is no mention of regulated markets in it. Honorable members would be aware that markets and fairs form part of entry 28 on the state list. The Union Parliament is not competent to legislate about regulated markets, and despite the recommendations of the Rural Credit Survey Committee, we felt that we cannot legislate about them. They have therefore been left out. More than one honorable member has said that there is no provision for education of officials and others who will be handling the cooperative societies. Now we need no legislation for that. and there is no necessity to make any provision in law. There is already a high class college in Pune which imparts education to the highest type of officials needed for cooperative societies. Then we have set up 5 regional colleges which will train intermediate personnel. 21 cooperative schools have been set up for training subordinate personnel. Some other institutions have been set up for training non-officials and cooperative officers for community project areas. We did not feel that it was necessary to make any provision in this law